In case we're disconnected, was this the best phone number to reach you at, the 6169?
Yes. What is the name of your law firm again?
You were called Sokolov Law?
Okay. Sokolov Law Firm?
Oh, yeah, Sokolov Law. Exactly.
Okay.
Are you contacting us for yourself or someone else?
I'm contacting you for myself.
Yourself? Okay.
Right.
First question is, have you experienced sexual assault or physical assault?
Sexual assault and sexual harassment.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Both.
In what state did the injury occur in?
It was in Texas. I also am experiencing retaliation. I've experienced retaliation over the years, and I'm still experiencing retaliation.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. In what city in Texas?
Houston, Texas.
Houston. Okay.
Harris County.
Okay. Yeah, we're actually in Massachusetts, but the way it works, so we also work with other law firms across the country.
Okay.
The kind of information provided, we determine which office can best help you out. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Was the perpetrator a family member or friend?
So I'm going to briefly explain. Okay.
That's fine.
So as a minor, my mother drugged me with codeine so that my father could sexually assault me as a minor. I am 48. The administration that employed my father is called the Texas Annual Conference Administration of the United Methodist Church in Houston, Texas. It's a multi-billion-dollar administration. And I experienced retaliation in the family court system. I'm married an abusive man, and I was ordered supervised visitation through the Domestic Relations Office in Harris County. And I experienced sexual harassment by an employee named Jorge at South Main Baptist Church in Houston.
I see. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear all this.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
I also experienced sexual harassment on the property of St. Stephen's United Methodist Church. That's under the Texas Annual Conference Administration, because this is where it gets important. I was forced to visit my kids at a United Methodist Church at St. Stephen's United Methodist Church that was under the same administration, the Texas Annual Conference, that employed my father, who sexually assaulted me. So basically, the Texas Annual Conference was assisting the Domestic Relations Office in carrying out disciplinary action against me based on false accusations that were made by my ex-husband in family court. And now I can't see my kids because I've exposed that history of being sexually assaulted and also being sexually harassed at two of the visitation sites that were churches, one of them being United Methodist, that was under the Texas Annual Conference that employed my father, John Chester Dowden. And the Texas Annual Conference is aware of this. And I was the only one in the supervised visitation that knew that there had been a murder from domestic violence within the Texas Annual Conference Administration in the early 2000s. And there have been multiple clergy who were child molesters that were employed by their administration. And now I can't see my kids, and I have a son who has a psychiatric disorder and he's not receiving treatment, and he wants his brother to die, who is 10 years old. And so now I can't see my kids and their lives are in danger, which is a result of partially a result of exposing sexual assault within the Texas Annual Conference. And nothing was filed in court. My visitation is being.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt for you. I'm just going to feel really bad. You have to repeat your story all over again because I'm actually not an attorney myself. I'm just an intake advisor. The legal team, when they speak to you, they're going to get all the information later, like additional information they need it. So I'll just feel really bad if you have to repeat yourself. Sorry. I guess going back to the question. I guess so. The question was a perpetrator, a family member, or friend. You said one of them was your father, so I'll put yes.
Yes. Okay. He was employed by the Texas Annual Conference in Houston, Texas.
Okay. And then the next question was, did you meet the perpetrator through an organization or business? So I was sexually harassed at South Main Baptist Church through the Domestic Relations Office. An employee of the Domestic Relations Office, Jorge, what's his name? And then I was also sexually harassed by a visiting parent on the property of St. Stephen's United Methodist Church, and people that were on staff at St. Stephen's United Methodist Church even witnessed it, and nothing was done. I even contacted the conference administration, and I spoke with Elijah Stanzel, and I spoke with the district superintendent that was over the district that St. Stephen's United Methodist Church is in. And nothing was done, knowing that I was experiencing sexual harassment. And there were people on staff that reached out to the guy that was sexually harassing me, and they asked him why he was flirting with me, but they did nothing about him sexually harassing me. I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
So I'll put yes then, that you're calling for like multiple.
Right. Yes, I am.
So yes, I'll put yes to family member. I'll put yes for an organization for the other person, the other people. And you said those organizations were called South Main Baptist Church and St. Stephen's Methodist Church?
St. Stephen's United Methodist Church, that is under the Texas Annual Conference Administration. And the Domestic Relations Office kicked me out and did not file anything in court. They have slandered me, and they sent my ex-husband a letter. They never mailed me a letter, and nothing was filed in court. And now I can't see my kids because I've exposed a history of sexual assault by my father, who was employed by the Texas Annual Conference Administration, and because I exposed their involvement with the Domestic Relations Office, and the fact that they never informed the Domestic Relations Office, and they never informed the Texas Annual Conference, never informed the custodial parents or the non-custodial parents that they had a history of employing child molesters, and that one of those clergy that was corrupt actually murdered his wife on a United Methodist property up in Northeast Texas in the early 2000s. His name was Michael Tabb. And the victim's name was Marla Tabb.
That sounds awful. I'm really sorry.
And it's okay. I am a surviving victim of sexual assault from someone employed under the Texas Conference Administration. And I also experienced sexual harassment at their church during my supervised visitation. And people on staff at St. Stephen's witnessed it, and nothing was done about it. I also called the conference administration. And so because I spoke out against that, now I can't see my sons.
and now our 15-year-old wants his 10-year-old brother to die.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And the next question was, when does the incident occur? I guess like for any of these, like around what years it happened?
So my father sexually assaulted me from the time that I was a newborn because he was a child molester and a sexual predator before I was born. And the sexual assault occurred throughout my childhood. And it also took place during the time that he was employed under the Texas Annual Conference Administration from 1986. And even as an adult, my father would try to make sexual advances towards me that were unwanted. And then before that, when my father was employed in under the Texas Annual Conference and we lived in Texarkana, there were 3 girls that my parents tried to adopt, and my parents sent them back to foster care while my father was employed by the Texas Conference because these girls were beginning to talk. And my parents couldn't afford for the truth to get out that they were predators.
I see. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I know you mentioned those dates. I guess I'll just put around 1986 for one of the dates, around there.
I would say, okay, so my father was employed at Northwest Texas Conference in 1983 or 84. Then he became employed at the Texas Annual Conference in 1986. And he was sexually abusing me then as well.
Okay.
While he was employed, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll put approximately 86, and then they'll get all these dates later if they need them, like more exact dates. So no worries for now.
Right. Well, the statute of limitations would kick in as far as my parents' sexual abuse, and they are deceased. However, what is most recent is experiencing retaliation by the Domestic Relations Office for exposing their involvement with the Texas Annual Conference for employing child molesters, one of them being my father. And the Texas Annual Conference has done nothing about it. And I also experienced sexual harassment on the property of St. Stephen's United Methodist Church, and it was in front of my kids, and it was in front of staff at St. Stephen's, and nothing was done about it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that was the next question. And what locations did these incidents occur at? So you said at your own private home with your father, the church.
That was during my childhood, yes. Yeah.
And the St. Stephen's United Methodist Church. Okay. Thank you. Let's see. This question you kind of mentioned already. Do you have any witnesses, police records, medical records, or other evidence of the incidents?
I have thousands of recorded conversations.
Okay. All right.
I have photos of documents. I can prove that I had to visit my kids at a United Methodist Church that was under the Texas Annual Conference, that is still under the Texas Annual Conference administration. I have documents proving that they have a history of employing child molesters.
I see. So this next question, this was the part I was going to say. Can you provide a brief summary of what happened? You do not need to provide the exact details this time, but you pretty much explain everything.
Yeah.
And you said your mother would drug you with codeine, and then your
right,
father
she
would.
Did, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Is there any other information you'd like to provide to the attorneys at this time?
No, that's all.
All right. Thank you.
And how do you pronounce the name of your law firm?
Oh yeah, Sokolov.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yes. Um,